In today's video guys, I want to talk about some really good looking and also really exciting upcoming shooters that you want to look forward this year in 2022 and beyond. So let's just get into it right away. First off, we have a completely free-to-play photorealistic action shooter by the name of Arc Raiders. This game is 100% something you should look forward to. It's free, but it's also something completely different than for say other free games. It's single player and co-op, and you're thrown into a massive open world where you have to fight an extremely intelligent mechanized army that learns from its every mistake. There's destructions, beautiful graphics, different classes to choose from, different abilities and weapons, and also huge bosses. One of the boss is the big spider seen in the game's trailer, which is a spider AI tank that always comes at you with different tactics. The developers of this game, which are made of almost all X-Dice developers who worked on previous Battlefield games, have created a unique AI system where the enemy will try to understand what your next move will be and how to counter your attacks, making for some awesome action. You'll be able to explore the world and scavenge the ruins of the past. Also, wield different unique tools and gadgets to outsmart the enemy. Use on-the-fly tactics, your surroundings, and physics to your advantage. If you and your squad play well together, one day the stars may again become beacons of hope instead of omens of oblivion. Next up, we have Vreski's new game, which does not have an official game title yet, but will have one pretty soon because it's been rumored that this awesome looking game is partnering with the Devolver Digital publisher to fulfill the developer's vision. This untitled FPS is looking like an absolute blast of a project, and as a lot of people think about Max Payne, Hotline Miami, Fear, name it, there's just so many games that comes to mind when seeing this. Vreski's new game is being worked on by the developers who did Hong Kong Massacre, and they're upgrading every single thing with this new game. The destruction of each little particle, the details of the weapons and of each levels, the bullets perfectly flying out of the weapons when shooting, and of course the slow motion element. Seeing this game in action reminds me of how fun FPS games were in the past with this slow motion feature. It just feels fun with simple all-out action, and that's what I love about it. Next up, we have Ill, another beautiful but creepy looking game made by ex-animators that worked on some really ambitious projects, like short movies for example. Thanks to a successful Patreon funding, these guys have hired a full team to work on what they want to be the most realistic horror survival game out there, with intense gore, body dismemberment, realistic ragdolls, and so much more. Ill is still a huge mystery as of now, but we do know it is running on Unreal Engine 5, that it is heavily inspired by both Resident Evil 7 and Outlast, and that they want to tell a pretty creepy story that's not hard to understand, but will also include shocking discoveries. Oh, and they also want to include real-time body transformations, thanks to the enemies being absolutely disgusting. Next up, we have Greyhill Incident, an exciting horror survival shooter that's centered on classic UFO experiences and stories, some that may be fake while some that may be real, and it's looking like a really unique experience where you get to defend your neighborhood from invaders using a baseball bat and other weapons that you can find and such. You also get to find and talk with your neighbors about the situation and see what you can do to get them to leave, but it is mostly centered on the horror aspect of it. You're a confused human in your ranch. Survive the invasion of your neighborhood, investigate the outlying village, seek for helpful utilities to protect your neighbors, and hide from the Greys. As Ryan Baker, a member of the Neighborhood Watch, you will experience the horrifying story of Greyhill. Sneak through Greyhill's houses and barns to find tools, ammo, and utilities to overcome the alien invasion. Try to fight, hide, or run to avoid being abducted by them. Next up, we have Projekt Z, an exciting hardcore FPS zombie game that will be free to play, and for a free experience this looks like quite the game. It will be both single player and co-op, and as you do missions on a secret German island where the Germans are experimenting on zombies to change the course of World War II. They want to use the zombies to their advantage, but things quickly go wrong and you and your squad are stuck in this mess, and so you have to do many different missions to understand what's going on, and each mission influences the other. In game you also have the hub. You can craft weapons, ammo, and other consumables there. You also be able to build things inside that hub, which is similar to Fallout 4 settlement building. From the hub you start missions. Missions belong to a story arc and can influence each other depending on the order in which you do them. An example, a mission where you clear the island's sewer system will lead to different zombie types appearing in other missions that otherwise were trapped in the sewer system. You can also recruit people to live in your hub, which they will then need to be fed and such. The game will also include include a zombie survival mode similar to Call of Duty Zombies. Next up we have Derelicts, a beautiful and quite diverse open world survival game being made by one single developer. After crashing on Earth with a space shuttle, you and your friends have to start from scratch, explore and build a base, then defend it against mutated animals and humans. Find the origin of the defense mechanism that triggered a wave of radiations on Earth, forcing the most privileged part of mankind to go and live on space stations. Chop down trees, find metals, and gather resources to build a cozy base to defend yourself from mutated wildlife. Use the power of wind, sun, and water to generate electricity and power up your base by building water wheels, wind turbines, and solar panels. Also brace yourself for weather changes that will affect your electricity production, like frozen rivers stopping your water wheels, night affecting your solar panel production, and such. Explore the world and find new recipes to make new tools and build parts that will allow you to progress further. Be ready for thunderstorms, blizzards, and other forces of nature affecting your daily life, and finally find a dog companion to join you in this survival hell and to help you fight in this world. Next up we have Sengoku Dynasty, a beautiful looking action survival RPG that's also centered on building your own Japanese village, all in third or first person and in both single player or co-op. In medieval Japan, ravaged by famine and war, you head to the legendary peasant kingdom to recreate a loving home for your daughter and secure the legacy of your family. Become a legendary figure in this chaotic world of the Warring States era in Japan by following a path of a charismatic leader, skillful craftsman, famed warrior, or a spiritual master. Encounter fully fledged NPCs, forge alliances, and expand your influence by performing surprising and emotional quests. Trade, romance, start a family, build a community, manage villagers. You'll also be able to master your techniques and craft new tools, weapons, and lodgings that will help you progress, gather resources, craft, cook, build, and farm to survive and fulfill your community's need. Face different foes and fight them with traditional Japanese melee and ranged weapons. Don't forget to hunt for food too. Explore the valley to find natural wonders, pray at the mystic shrines, and meditate in places of power. You can also make offerings to Japanese deities, gain blessings, and eventually build your own spiritual structures. I'm super excited for it. Finally, we have Atomic Heart, an exciting Soviet Union Bioshock-like open world RPG that looks like quite the weird experience and that I'm so happy that I will be able to experience later this year. What a ride this game looks. The developers are aiming towards 20 hours of playthrough while completing the main story and some side activities here and there that could be more important than others. Atomic Heart is a game made with heart, and there are so many little details and fun stuff in each mission. It's not a game that was made as long as possible to make players feel like they're always grinding and grinding. Atomic Heart is said to be all about the good stuff. Beside the massive story, which will take up most of your time in all the different weird locations, either on ground or underground, there's also going to be numerous big, difficult puzzle-focused dungeons that are serving as side activities for you to wander around in or to fully complete in completely unique and different environments and locations. It's like a game within a game, something like Portal, the developers said. They really want a great open world that has a ton of unique things to do and that won't feel boring and repetitive. Alright guys, for more videos on upcoming games like these, make sure you support this video and of course subscribe.